So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream from ustream.tv, also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. So if you have any comments, if there's anything you've seen that you want to see more of, just pop it in the little box below, that would be wonderful. So I thought I'd finish my two pages actually, oh no, maybe more, in Animorphiain. This is one of the first I did in watercolours, and that was in the Dr. Martens Hydrus. Love these vibrant colours, but I'm restricted to pastels at the moment, and I've acquired a new set of pastels from a vintage set of Derwents, and I love this little box. So I've got the whole box of 90. So I wondered why, when I had the box of 72, it's a full tray, there were some missing, and of course that's because they were originally made for 90 pencils. So there we go. So I've got my pastel pencils, and I'm setting this one as I go as well, so that's quite nice. So we've got kind of, not sure I'm going to leave them in here because I just have a bit of difficulty getting everything out, so we'll just have to see. I've got my trusty bit of paper just to test the colour on, but normally at the end of the pastels what you see is what you get, so I quite like that. So I'll zoom in and then we'll have a play with the pastels. So I wanted to do these flowers here, and I'm blending. Oh, I'm supposed to be blending first. So I've got my original blending tool, and this one is a Colour Shaper by Royal Sovereign. It's a Taper Point Firm number 6, and it is quite firm. And again, it just needed a bit of cleaning, so I use a baby wipe. Oops, wrong thing. And then I kind of rub it on my hand a bit. The skin tends to clean it quite nicely. So I think we'll have the Spectrum Orange Bold, and I think we might actually put Spectrum Orange on the outside, I think, so you can blend that one in. I've got a spot and bother with that, so unfortunately I'm just going to have to use my number 2. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the Rigger Aquiline Delironi number 2. Unfortunately, my hands will not stand the Rigger, the blender at the moment. So a little soft brush. And we've got some colour on there. So we've got some more over here as well. Just going to put a little bit of a and then a bit of light colour around, I think. Again, very roughly scratched onto the surface so that I can go back with my damp brush and manoeuvre that. And it's now set. It's now become we'll call it a fake watercolour. And you can see the dust catch onto the damp brush and then be manipulated all the way around. You can do this with an ordinary brush, but you want a fine one, you don't want a lot of water. You just need the tiniest amount of water to just manipulate the colour. So they're quite pastely pale colours and I like that, so that's okay. Just let me see if I can get that into focus a little bit better, because it seems to be out of focus. Is that a little bit better? What are you doing, Toffee? Toffee's having a moment. Toffee, give up! Stop it! Oh, I said the wrong word now. Alfie's come round. She's eating plastic, so she's just an idiot. Right, what was I doing? The little birds. We've got a fish here. Oh, we've got a little brown bear. So we'll have a look at this. We've got a carmine colour, actually. That might be a nice bear colour. So I'm just picking them off. And again, you can think about colour if you want. Or you can kind of just manipulate a little bit of colour, but you just definitely do not need a lot. So if you pull that down, you can manipulate that colour. You can leave the highlights and the shadow if you want. But it's very easy on the hands, so it's quite nice, is that? We have a jam jar, so I think we'll put some jam in that jam jar. And we'll have a pale lid. So if anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. I think I've got to start and finish a lot of my pages off that I have. I think they're going to be green. So I've got some gorgeous greens here. And I think that's Hooker's Green Bold. And I think that's going to be really nice there. Again, take that deepest down and then palest out. A little bit of a highlight going on in there. And then we've got a May Green Bold. I think that's quite a nice one. Oh, this is Emerald Bold. So I'm going to do that. there's only one, I think. There's a bit of greenery under there. So, well, if we've got a bit of greenery. So I love working in this really quiet, peaceful way. You don't have lots of tops flying off everywhere, and you can just sit in a small space with very little water. Oh, there's another one of those fish. So I do have I need a blue-green really for this. Let me have a look for this one. That's more of a turquoisey colour. Yep. I've got that colour, and I want a bit of a green. I think have a look. There's an indigo light. I don't know what indigo light is. Let's have a look at indigo light. Oh, that's quite nice. So we'll have the fishy there with a pale back and a dark tummy. Or blue face. And then we can just colour that one in. It's a bit very pale. It's a very pale grey actually, is that indigo pale, indigo F. It's quite nice, is that? And we'll give him a bit of an orange eye, I think. I can't quite get to that, so again I'm going to use this little tiny brush from my little watercolour set. Just manipulate that colour in there. Right, what else have we got going on here? We've got a flame, so we could do with maybe just put a bit of cad yellow in that as well. Manipulate that with a yellow first. Just got a little bit of orange in there. There's a Rubik's Cube, so that's going to be the brightest of blues, the brightest of reds, and we can have the brightest of greens. Shouldn't have put green in because we've already got green, but never mind, I've done it now. That's our red. Ow. Ow. Right. I stopped doing a lot of colouring because my hands were not well. So we've got some little stars. I never know what colours to do those, but I'm going to have a chocolate F for, sorry, chocolate D for the flame torch. So we'll just put that on there. We'll have a purple creature, I think. bit of colour. And again, it just reacts like a watercolour, so you can manipulate that colour. But it's a lot softer, and you don't get any pencil lines because it just, everything disappears. Ow, sorry, I keep using my thumb. I'd like to think we've got a white bunny there, but I think we'll leave white bunny there. There's something going on here, so I think we'll have a bit of a green. Again, I'm going to use a little brush for that one because it's just that little bit too fiddly, that one. There we go. So we've got another white bunny there, and we've got a clock face here. So use that. Pale clock face colour there. And we'll have that colour around there. So anybody got any questions? Oh, hi Karen, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Having a play with my new pastel pencils that I acquired yesterday. This is the vintage set of 90 colours from Derwent. And I love having full sets. I'm just a bit of a obsessive about having full sets of everything, so I could just do with the tiniest little bit of dark on there. And bear with me, there could be a bark alert, so I needed to finish Charlie off because Charlie needs finishing off. Again, I'm using my little tiny brush from my Derwent Cotman watercolour pan set because that's just that bit too big to get in. I'll put my shadow on as well if you want. So welcome to Bunny's Designs, everybody. This is a live show, but everybody's very quiet. Nobody's saying anything. Everybody must be busy. So thanks for stopping by, guys. This is recorded for Ustream.tv and also for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. I'm playing in the Animorphiain, and I'm finishing off my parrot Charlie Page off. It needs finishing off. So I've got some nice silver warm greys here in this set, and these are very, very soft, crumbly pencils. They're a bit softer than the Derwent new pencils we have out now. They're just a little bit softer, but and I think there's 5mm of colour in these little strips, whereas the new ones, if I put a new one next to it, you'll see it's a bit smaller. So that's 4mm of colour, that's 5mm of colour. That's the new Derwent, that's the old Derwent. And they're about 20 odd years old, so I call them vintage. I know they're supposed to be 25, but they're about 25 years old. Yes, I bid on eBay. I bought them off eBay because you can't buy them again. But yeah, they came in this beautiful wooden box. I did do an unboxing earlier, an unboxing of the box. I did that earlier. So I've got 3 trays of pencils everywhere now. Happy girl, full colours. Always a happy girl. I think I'll do this one actually a darker colour. Sorry, I'm off camera now. I'm doing the fishy. Just there. scratching a tiny bit of colour in. Actually, I can move the camera down, that's probably a better idea. I hope the light doesn't move too much. And with my number 2 rigger, I'm just going to colour that in carefully. And smush that colour across. So yesterday I went on a train trip to almost to Kidderminster on 7, I think I took 6 or 7 trains in my wheelchair on my own, and everything was perfect. All the staff were wonderful. It worked extremely well. I was very impressed. I was very proud of British Rail, I have to say. So, really like these pastels, and I love the fact we've got the full set. So if I pan out a moment, you might be able to see how I've got everything set up. So I've got a tray here, and then the box is just there, and all the yummy pencils. So as I'm using them, I started the Tutankhamun one earlier, Tutankhamun. So I've turned them the wrong way around, so they're still in the box, but it's just to remind me, instead of taking them out and putting them in a sleeve. So this is the one I started earlier, and it was quite quick, so really liked playing with these colours. And so that's how I'm working, and I'm just picking the pencils up and putting them that way so they're handy for me. And I learnt that off from Colin I don't say Colin Dexter, but I can't think of his name. David Cook. Sorry, David Cook in the 70s had a video, and he had watercolour pencils in a box, and that's how he used to use them, have them sitting out waiting for him. Rather than putting them back in and taking them out again, he just has them here, the colours that he's using. So it's like a little pastel pencil palette. So I'll zoom back in and we can have another look. And I'll just move the camera down a smidgen. So we've got 3 little kind of creatures here, and of course being set with watercolour is now set. And I think he's going to be, we need some brighter colours. Now I've got all these lovely pinks. I think we could make him a pink. And you can have a magenta. And we could possibly put so if anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope everybody's well. I've got to stop using the thumb though, because there might be some blue language come out, so we've got to be a bit careful with that thumb. So again, it's really easy on your hands, just sliding that damp brush around. It's quite cool. Looks a bit orangey, but it is a bit of a pink, is that. I think the giraffe can be a giraffe orange colour. I think maybe this might be a giraffe orange colour. And he could possibly have a brown tummy. I'm probably going to go in with that little brush because it's a bit big as that other one. So this is a lovely little brush for small areas, and even when I'm blending other things, I never blend if it's a tiny area. I just instantly do it with this. She's eating plastic again. We have a cat with a serious problem. She's just a bad pussycat. Alfie's been a good boy. He's in the kitchen, curled up, and Toffee's been naughty. Toffee's the cat. Oh, Alfie's jumped up, he's recognised his name. Oh. Yeah. Being naughty, Alfie. I may have to go feed the cat in a second. Right, let me have a look for a blue. We've got a blue. Oh, we've had blue. I think we'll have a bright yellow. So put that onto there. Just scratching that little bit of colour, and then catching all that dust. And there isn't a lot of dust, but that dust is your colour. So the more you scratch, the more you waste. And we don't want to waste because we're a tight Yorkshire lass. So I've got my famous indigo. I have a lot of trouble getting these out of here, actually. I have a lot of trouble. There's a bit of a cloud coming there as well. So, I did blend a lot of this, but when you use water and a damp brush for blending, they're stronger, the colours are stronger. Not overly, but just. They are definitely stronger. I finished that little area there, so we'll just, I think I'm going to leave him white. Have a little white bun. And then we're going to move across. We want some stars. We'll have some bright yellow stars. I love this cad yellow bowl. I didn't have that before and I loved it. I could do, yes. Karen says, could I smudge it with my right hand? I could do. The problem I've got at the moment is the right bit here is not playing nice. It's this bit that's not playing nice. I just tried to do it there. I do, if it's smaller, you need a little bit more control. This one I can kind of push up and down without using the thumb. The thumb is, the paintbrush has just been held, and I can just move it up and down a little bit like chopsticks. So I'm just using the two fingers to chop up and down, and that's actually mixing it quite well, because that's why I haven't done any pastel work for a while. It's even just that kind of annoying me a little bit. I can't think what I've just done. I just did something. Oh, we've got a little creature there as well. He can be pink. Bit of a pink theme going on down there, I think. I'm sure I've just put some pastel somewhere. Oh, I did, on the yellow stars. On the yellow stars. But I think these are little fiddly bits now. It's nice to blend the big bits, but these are fiddly, so I probably, as I say, would not. I used the little tiny watercolour brush because it's just activating it to make it a decent colour. I found another cloud up there, look. Again, just the tiniest little bit of colour, and then a damp brush to manoeuvre it around. I wouldn't get a blender in there anyway now. Most of these would not be used with a blender. Maybe the rugs. There's two rugs, but I think they're rugs, but I don't think I will be doing that. But again, I like working this way. This was my favourite way before, using my little book of watercolours. You just get a little bit of colour and just manoeuvre it with a rigger, and that's my easiest way. Oh, hi, morning DRD Mom, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Finishing off Charlie the parrot in Animorphia. Sorry, in Animorphia. I've neglected this book, so it needs to have a lot of work doing to it. So we're having a play. And because these are now smaller creatures, I'm just activating the colour with water and manoeuvring it round, because I find that's the easiest, because everything else is set. Charlie's set. I don't think I did Charlie with water. I think I blended. That looks like a blend. Pretty sure I blended, but at the moment I'm quite happy to play like this. So I think we're going to have a little purple man. Just manipulating that bit of colour in there. And again, I quite like that little bit of variation. I do like that. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's Mr. Octopus. We're going to have a bigger purple octopus now. So again, we can have, and again, just stroking a little bit of colour in. That's all you need to do, because it's very vibrant, these pastels. And as I say, although they are not a watercolour, they react like a watercolour, so they could be a fake watercolour, if that's a proper term. Technically they are not a pure watercolour, because they do not have the gum arabic or whatever it is they put in them now, but they react like a beautiful watercolour, because the pigment inside is so strong. You can manipulate the colour around. And again, the soft rigour on your hands is quite good. I've just tried to blend and I couldn't really, so this is the easiest way. You've got a bendy brush and you've got a little bit of a scratch for the colour, and yet you can still colour in, so I quite like that. I'm going to give him I'm not going to give him a green, I think. Give him some pink lips, I think. It's a bit of a kingy, so he can have pink lips. And I think we'll give him an orange eye. There's another jar of jam there. And you really need very little water. Just a damp brush and a very little colour, because they're very well pigmented, these. They're beautiful colours. And they're nice colours as well. And then I'm just going to do that because it's just going to give a colour hint. Just a pink hint. Oh, we've got another white bunny, so I'm going to leave him white. We've got a flagpole, so we've got some nice fawns. And we could have an emerald green flag, I think. So if anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. Thanks for joining me, guys, this morning. It's a bright morning in the UK. Oh, it's clouding over now. It was beautiful yesterday. And I so love sitting on all those trains in beautiful sunshine. It was very nice. My kind of armchair, that. And as I say, I really enjoyed the fact that I was escaping on my own. So all the staff got me on and off the trains, wheeled me onto the next train. And one lady even took me to Marks and Spencer's at Birmingham International so that I could have something to eat. And so I had a lovely Marks and Spencer's salad and got one of those gorgeous yogurts. So that was nice. And then I sat on the train and had a picnic. And they put me in the disabled spot in the first class on the way home, so that was nice as well. So we had a nice cup of tea. So it was a lovely day. I met some nice people. And I had a grand day, and I was out and about, so that was good. As Wallace and Gromit would say, a grand day out. So that was good, and I went to collect the pencils because I didn't want them putting in the post because I thought they would break. So I went to pick up my new set of full set of 90 vintage pastel pencils from Derwent, and they're in a most beautiful box. So I might keep them in this box. I don't think I'm going to take these out with me. I think I'll leave them here at home. I have my other set that's not quite a full set that I can take when I go out and about. But the Amazon gremlin struck again yesterday. I don't know if anybody else has found the Amazon gremlin, but he keeps popping up. And he's bought another tablet, but it's, I'm just wondering what that is. I'll put a bit of green on it anyway. If in doubt, slap some green on it. It's actually for my daughter for her 19th birthday, which is not until May, but because there's two reasons. One is that that's what I wanted to get her, so that she can use it for manga and her university studies. She's doing illustration and animation, and I thought that would be good. Oh yes, I did. I'll tell you in a second, DRD Mum, when I stop recording. How long have I been? I've been 36 minutes. I'll stop when I've thingied, when I've finished. I want to try and get this finished if I can. So remind me in a bit, and I shall tell you. Not much to tell really, but it seems to be a bit of a crocodile. But we'll do a purple crocodile. It's a really nice purple. Again, I didn't have dark violet bold, so that's really nice dark purpley blue. That really deep purple, what I would call a proper purple. That, so that's made me a happy girl having that extra. It was only about 12 short, so that's quite good. He hasn't got a tail for some reason. I don't think that's his tail. Oh, it could be. We'll make that his tail. He's an imaginary creature. He can have a big purple tail. That's the one thing I do like about the Kerby Rosanes. You can make the colours up. You don't have to stick to accuracy, or reality I should say. Not that you have to do that for anything else. That looks like a jug, and then that looks like something else, so I don't know what on earth that is. We've got the anchor. Again, I think we're going to have to have a different grey for an anchor, won't we? Oops, we've got the French grey bold. I don't think I've got that one either, so we'll do the anchor. Oh, that's quite a nice dark chocolatey grey, that one actually. Yes, it's probably halfway between, is it a brown grey or is it a grey brown? That's one of those, and I quite like that. So, oops, sorry, I was off camera then. Sorry. There we go. That was quite a nice. So we need some vibrant colours in here now. So we've got a bit of an orange colour going on there. We've got a geranium lake. And I'm going to swap into my small little tiny brush now, because it's a bit easy. Again, just wetting it and messing about, sliding it across. Not too much detail in this one. Just want to activate it, so we've turned it into a bit of a watercolour, and it's been fixed as well. Now what I should have done is gathered some of that colour and taken it down here. Oops, sorry. That's the only thing I've got a problem with, is lifting the pencils up, so we'll just have to see. And then we've got another purpley green fish. Have we got any more green fish? Don't think we have. We'll put some of that blue on there. So again, quiet way of working, just scratching a bit of colour in and then just using a damp brush. Nothing too strenuous. And these riggers are really good for your hands if you've got pulley hands. They're quite good, so you can manipulate that colour. And that one. And you don't want too damp though, because if it's too damp, you'll go through your paper and you crinkle it. And your colour will run that bit further. I like to have a bit of control over my colours. But you have to do what's best for your hands. And these are a little bit, oops, a little bit fiddly, these, I have to say. Oh, thank you, dear. Well, I have played with them before, but again, they're in a better order. They're in a better order, and I don't know if it does work. It's a bit wishy-washy, but again, this is the pretend bit. It took me, I think it took nearly half an hour to pick out these colours for Charlie, because I was doing him to colour, matching colours up. But everything else is just, I'm just being kind of very, very loose with it, because that's the nature of this. If you're making it up, it's a lot quicker. If you're matching colours up like I did with Charlie, as I say, that took, I think the video on there took half an hour to pick the colours out. So it depends on what I'm doing, and it also depends on knowing the colours. Some of these I'm not used to, like the bold colours. There was about 6 or 7 missing from my other set, so I'm getting used to having some more reds and some more purples, because a lot of those was missing. That's some kind of creature. There's a broomstick. Again, I really like this French grey bee, bold. I really like this one. It's a really nice kind of warm colour. So I'm going to do that with a bigger rigger, and I'll show you what I do. So we've got that going. We want a bit of a highlight going on there, and then we can manipulate that, and then there's just enough to take that from there. So I managed to get the broom out of it, and there's a bit of variation there. These are tassels, so you can do tassels different colours, or you can just put them in as they are. Again, I think I'm going to have a bright purple tassel. and look at it. And there's no points on any of these pencils, they're really kind of blunt, but I'm leaving them like that. You can still get all the colour out. So manipulate this colour. And then you can't really mess about too much. Just tease that out. You've got to be fairly quick, but you can reactivate it again. It's not set in stone, it's not like ink tens. They are not set in stone. And like a watercolour, they react to water. But you've got to let it dry. If you don't, you rub your paper up. So that's the best thing to do, is if you do that and make a mess, just leave it and then go back later. And I'm just teasing this colour here. I think I'm going to have a green monster sitting on here. And again, that one's Hooker's Green Bold, which I didn't have, so that's a really nice deep dark green. Kind of like that green. But I am watering these down. If you were using your blender, you would and have some richer colours if you wanted. But I'm just manipulating this down here a bit, so that, and you can go back, as I say, and get rid of the lines if you have any lines that you don't want. That should be a foot, and that's a foot. So he's done. So what do we need next? We need a little bit of this. Now this wasn't going to be a pastel day. It's only a pastel morning because I just wanted to have a play with the pencils and finish the Charlie page off. I'm going to be getting the UG out in a minute, and then hopefully at some point I will get the new digital drawing tablet that I bought for my daughter. But I'm not seeing her till the weekend, so I think I'll be able to play with it a bit more. It's for her birthday, so that she can use it for her animation course. Oh, welcome back, Caroline. Oh, I hope everything's okay. Welcome back. What was I doing? I do have some little white birds, but I kind of like those white. I have to think about that. I'm going to do this. Well, I think it's a rug, but then again, I'm not sure what that is, so I'm going to leave it because I really don't know what it is. There's a little bird down here. And so another Olympic flame torch as well, so we'll do the flame torch. I think we got some nice oranges and reds in there. And then we've got this gorgeous cadmium yellow. So just put that on there. So in a little while I'll be using my OG, my digital tablet, and finishing the page. Oh, I shouldn't say finishing, continuing, because it takes a long time. It takes me probably longer to do it digitally than it does traditionally, but I do work with a very fine paintbrush or marker 1%, so So that's quite, again, that's a nice way to work as well. So this other tablet is for me to take away with me, because I don't really want, and I also want to know how easy it is, so my girls can understand how to use it. Again, I'm going to use that nice French. I've lost my Olympic flame. There we go. I'm going to use this gorgeous French grey bold. I should have used a smaller brush, but I think we'll be fine. Activate that and then stroke it higher to give a highlight. So you're using that colour as a highlight. And we have a jellyfish. So again, he can be you can have bright yellow. Oops, I've got to try and put them back in the correct order. And a bit of orange. And then bright red. And even though there's not a sharp point on these, I can still scratch a bit of colour off. And right, so we start at the bottom with the yellow. Oops, a bit wet that. Yellow, and blend that up. Take that colour up there. I do like that cadmium yellow bold. It's a new colour, so I quite like that. And put that there. Get there. So just again, I love the UG because you can turn everything round, so it's more comfortable. But we'll just keep going with this. So it's got some nice colours going. Must remember not to use the thumb. So got a little jellyfish going on, and then there's a mask there. I've been using the purple little monsters, haven't I? So we'll make some purple monsters. Just manipulate that colour around. We've got a crocodile, and then we've got some crocodile tails. So crocodiles can be some green crocodiles. So if anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. Hope everybody's well this morning. It's a bit of a bright day. My internet connection is not very good. So it won't let me use OBS, but never mind. I have a bit of a highlight on that nose. That worked quite well. So I'll just pop this down here. And that's quite nice because it's kind of going back into green again, so that's taking it back to Charlie. And I think they should be green as well. There's a bit of kind of a monkey face going on here, so we've got some nice fawny browns that we've had. Kind of reddy browns. And we can have a bit of an orangey face. Again, just the tiniest amount scratched on, not too much. And that just allows us to manipulate that colour. It's a gorgeous colour. Again, that's another bold one that I didn't have because the original set I had of these pencils from Derwent, I think hubby bought them just when the girls were born, I think they were tiny, so I've had them a long time. And the set was actually just going to see if I can take that little bit out of the eye there. Just caught a little bit in his eye. See if we can take that out. Yeah, because I hadn't activated it with water, I could take it out. So I want a little bit of yellow. Sometimes it's slightly better with a brush. He's all set. There's some probably greens going on under here, I think probably. Could just put a little bit of green under here. And in here as well. I think could be a bit of dark green going on. So just manipulate this colour. It just finishes them off a little bit. And then you don't realise there's an awful lot of little tiny bits to do on here. I think that should be green. I think he's going to be brown as well. I think he's going to be that French. Unless I do him chocolate, I think we'll do him chocolate. And a little bit on the bottom where there's some cross hatching. And then what we can do is manipulate that colour to give different highlights and shades. So it's dark here, and then as we take it up, it becomes paler and paler. And I quite like that effect. And if you're quick, you can manipulate it. But like I said, it does react like water. It will reconstitute back into a colour. But again, I like the fact I've got a little bit of variation on there. And then on this bit as well, things are kind of happening, and then we've got enough to kind of get onto there as well. So very little effort. It's quite like that. I do like little effort. I don't know what this is, so I'm just going to do it pink. Again, I like the Derwent art bag because when you've got 3 trays of pencils out rather, you don't have the space on your desk. So, show you. If we pan out, you can see what I've been doing. So it's getting quite colourful now. So this is Charlie. Oops, sorry, I've got a wire over there. This is Charlie. And I've got my trays of Derwent pencils here. And again, it's all dried. It's not a pastel anymore. So I really like that, and I actually quite like the colours as well. Even though I'm making them up, they are actually kind of going together. So I quite like that. So that's the end of part 2, I think, with Charlie in Animorphia. And that's our Charlie Farley. Thanks for watching.